Hey folks, welcome back to Core Quest, How to Play Core Quest Video 2. Today we're going to be going over some features like how to create a new character, how to move from the title page or the opening screen of your app to how to create a character. Hey, we're going to cover all those things. We're going to go through the options, whether it's whatever class you want to play or race you want to select, and even what profession your new character will have. We're going to even talk about how to delete characters if you don't want them, and also how to get back to the first title screen. Let's go ahead and get started. Joining me here on our tutorial, it's okay, Randall. Yeah, I'm going to explain to them how to do everything. I'm not being impatient. Okay, let's get going here.
Voiceover help button.
As you remember from our first video, we talked about how to navigate the title screen here. This is the first page, this is the title page, opening screen. It's basically all the same thing. This is what you are going to hear or see when you first open the app from your phone. Let's go ahead and swipe down. Starting at the top, you can four-finger tap from the top, or you can swipe from right to left to get to the top.
Adventure to Fate Core Quest logo, dimmed, image, advert ready. Swipe up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate.
You will hear that logo, which is Touchment, and now, Adventure to Fate, and now we're going to swipe to your right.
Voiceover help button.
We talked about voiceover help in video 1.
Start the game button, heading.
And we got start the game. This is where we're going to double tap, so if you're following along with me, I'm going to go slow, and you go ahead and follow along with me. Also, I want you to know something before we get into this particular episode. Everything that I'm covering here is also covered in the built-in tutorial, which is found right here.
About the game button. Help with the game button.
Help with the game. Whatever you need as far as voiceover can be covered with voiceover or help with the game. You can also ask a question in my videos, and one of our channel friends, or even Randall Higgins himself, will be there to give you some assistance. He just helped somebody recently with some really cool voiceover hints, which allowed them to be able to move around on the map and know where they were, including whenever they hit an obstacle. So yes, folks, whatever help you need, if it's something we're capable of helping you with, we will help you. All right, let's go ahead and create a character. I know, Runda, I'm not trying to be redundant. That's a little not fair.
About the game button. Start the game button.
Let's start
heading.
the game.
Start the game, heading.
When
Character list, heading.
when
Armored
you-
Anchor 1, Class
oh
9,
boy,
Race
here we
Human.
go. When you double tap on create a character, you're brought to
Create character button.
the create
Back to menu button.
character
Create character button.
page. The create character page is where all of your characters are located that you have created. This is, of course, what I'll also talk about how you can also delete characters. They can be deleted from here too. Any character that you have created is located here. But what if we want to create a brand new, cool, awesome, vivid, super beautiful, stunning, amazing character? Oh gosh. Oh, okay, that was a little over the top. You are correct, Rondot. Yes, if we want to create a character, we're going to swipe to our right.
Armored Anchor 1, Class 9, create back to menu, character list, heading.
Starting at the top, character list.
Back to menu button. Create character button.
So it's going to be 2 swipes from
Back to menu, character list, heading.
character list.
Back to menu, create character
We're
button.
going to create a character. Let's do it.
Create character. Wizard button, heading.
Once we double tap on create character, we're presented with different classes in the game of Core Quest. All right, let's listen to the different classes, and we'll also hear anything that voiceover says.
Knight button. Wizard
We
button,
got the
heading.
wizard,
Knight button. Rogue button. Shadow Ranger button. Cleric button. Illusionist dimmed button.
when you hear dimmed, it means you haven't unlocked that class or character yet.
Monk button. Ancient Archer button. Assassin button. Witch button. Paladin button. Druid dimmed button. Rogue heading. Is current
All
selected
right.
class.
Once you've gone through all the classes, I want to point out something important to you. There are 3 classes at the very end that are what we call mystical classes. Now, mystical classes, they don't have infinite lives. Your basic character is immortal and can die as many times as you need it to die. However, there are 3 mystical classes.
Druid dim Paladin witch button. Assassin witch assassin ancient archer assassin button.
Assassin is 1,
Witch button.
Witch is 2,
Paladin button.
Paladin is 3. You're going to want to wait a little bit of while before you play these characters. These require you to be a Core Quest expert. Again, Mystical classes are going to be played on my channel, and I'll give you lots of opportunities to see me make all kinds of mistakes. All right, let's just pick a random class. Now, Runduck, what class should we take? Should we take a wizard? No, we're not going to play mystical classes. We're going to play a regular class. Okay, we're going to go ahead and select the wizard.
Witch, assassin, ancient archer, monk, illusionist, cleric, button, shadow ranger, rogue, button, knight, button, wizard, button, heading.
Once you have selected it, double tap.
Wizard, heading.
Now that the wizard has been selected, we're going to go ahead and go down to the bottom of the screen, swipe from left to right.
Knight, rogue, shadow ranger, cleric, illusionist, monk, ancient archer, assassin, witch, button, paladin, druid, dim, wizard, heading. Is current selected class.
You'll hear that? Wizard is currently selected class. Now, if we had selected another class, it would say that class is currently selected class. Once that information has been confirmed by us, by listening to voiceover, let's swipe to our right.
Wizards are masters of raw magic, bending the elements to destroy and defend. Core stats, int, whiz.
Okay, you're going to hear a lot of information. So this is the dialogue. Well, it's not really a dialogue box. It's more of a description box that explains the kind of flavor text of each class. So you can use voiceover to move by word, letter, character by character navigation, and you can listen to this as many times as you need. Adjust your voiceover speed to whatever you feel comfortable with. For instance, what if I wanted to slow down that description of the class? Let me turn my rotor to a slower speaking rate.
Speech volume, audio ducking, audio speaking rate, 65%, 60%, 55%.
I've slowed my speaking rate to 55%. Now let's listen to that description again.
Words, character, vertical nav, headings. Wizard, heading. Wizards are masters of raw magic, bending the elements to destroy and defend. Core stats, int, whiz.
All right. Now, if that was a little easier for you, then consider using your speed on your rotor to find the speed that is ideal for you. All right, let's talk about core stats. So this is new in CoreQuest. This tells you, so you don't have to guess exactly what attributes you're going to be looking for when you're looking for loot and treasure. Or if you're a rune duck like Douglas, exactly what a duck might want. I don't really know because Douglas is just out of pocket today. Douglas, could you stop showing out? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the core particular stats that a wizard might want.
Wizard, head. Wizards are masters of raw magic. Class starting skills. Wizards are masters of raw magic, bending the elements to destroy and defend. Core stats, int, whiz.
Int and whiz. Int stands for intelligence. Whiz stands for wisdom. Those are going to be the two stats you're going to want to look for your character. So whatever character you want to create, if you like a particular attribute, you want to look for a class that uses that attribute. Again, the first attribute's your primary, the second is your secondary, but both of them are going to be very important. They're going to be a collaborative two attributes. Those are going to be what you're going to be looking for in equipment. Those are going to be what you're going to want to create in your profession activity. And I'll be talking about professions in a separate video. But yes, that's what you're looking for this particular class. Let's go on to more of the character creation process.
Class starting skills.
Now we're going to get to class starting skills. Every class has a class starting skill, an ability it can use right away, not including its basic attack.
Arcane Bolt, button.
Arcane Bolt. Let's find out what Arcane Bolt is for a wizard. We double tap.
Arcane Bolt.
And it's going to go, can you hear that? And let's hear what an Arcane Bolt is.
An elemental-based damaging spell.
It's an elemental-based damaging spell.
Type, damaging spell.
And then you're going to want to swipe from left to right to hear what the parts of the spell are.
Done, button.
And once you are
Close
there,
info screen.
You're going to want to click the Done button. So that's an info screen. Now, many of you say, the dreaded info screen. No, Room Duck, it's really easy to get out of info screens. You just double tap on Done.
Done, button. Arcane Bolt,
and you
button.
are back to exactly where you left off because it memorizes where you were. All right, let's swipe from left to right again.
Arcane Intellect, button.
Arcane Intellect. That sounds like a buffing skill. Buffs are abilities that make you stronger, faster, bigger, taller, cuter. No, it doesn't do any of those things. It just makes you stronger and lets you use your abilities better.
Skill tree, button.
There's also this really cool thing called a skill tree. You might want to know, what is a skill tree? Well, typically skill trees are things that you can select different skills from that makes your character stronger or better or play the way you want them to play. Let's swipe to the next item.
Halfling. Heading.
All right,
Is current selected race.
now we're getting into the races. So we've gone over basically what the particular attribute we want for our classes. We've gone over selecting our class. Now let's get into selecting the race. There's easy buttons to move back and forth depending on what race we want. Really, sky's the limit. Whatever race you want to use for whatever class you want is totally up to you. You can be a minimaxer and find the perfect combination, or you can have a lot of fun and do whatever you want. Rune Duck likes to do whatever it wants. All right, let's go ahead and swipe.
Previous race. Button.
You have two buttons that move between the different races.
Next race. Button.
You got previous race and next race. So let's go ahead and tap
Previous race.
previous
Button.
race.
Previous race. The new race selected is Orc.
All right, so now you have Orc. So if you want the Orc, you're just going to go ahead and swipe forward.
Next race. The strongest and ugliest of all the races. Orcs are an aggressive and fearsome foe. Orcs are strong, enduring and dim.
You'll get all the facts with this really wonderful flavor text about orcs. And guess what? Every race has a core ability.
Race skills.
You hear something like that? It's race skills.
Orc race. Button.
Yes, let's double tap and find out what the orc race can do.
Orc race. A passive skill for the orc race that raises STR by 2 and by 2 and fire damage by 2, lowers int by 1, agi by 1 and whiz by 2 permanently.
All right. So as you can tell, each race has its own abilities. And if we want to go through this really slow, we can use our rotor to go to word by word navigation.
Speech volume. Audio. Speaking words. Cap A. Passive. Skill. For the orc race that raises STR by 2 and by 2 and fire damage by 2, lowers int by 1, agi by 1 and whiz by 2.
As you can hear, orcs get a bonus to strength and fire, and they get basically a deficit to intelligence and wisdom.
Permanently.
All right, once you've heard all the information you want to know about the orc race's bonuses and deficits, go ahead and swipe to your right.
Type. Passive. Done. Button.
And of course you have the
Close info
wonderful
screen.
done button that closes the info screen.
Orc race. Button.
All right, now we kind of know an orc may not be a wise choice for a wizard. So if you don't like an orc being a wizard, no, Rune Duck, we're doing a tutorial, so I know you want the orc to be a wizard because you want to play an atypical scenario. But let's go ahead and go back and select maybe someone who's a little bit better at being a wizard.
Race skills. The strongest. Next race. Previous race. Button.
Let's select previous race again.
Previous race. The new race selected is Elf.
I think an elf would probably be a much better choice for a wizard. Let's go find out what skills and attributes an elf has.
Next race. Tall, noble, and intelligent. Elves are masters of the wilderness and the mind.
All right, so we get here information about the elf. Now let's find out what race skills elves have.
Race skills. Elf race. Button.
Let's double tap.
Elf race. A passive skill for the elf race that raises int agi earth damage by 2 and wisdom by 1 permanently.
As you can hear, elves already sound like they are much better at being a wizard. By getting that bonus in int or intelligence, they can do a lot more with their magic. Let's go ahead and close the screen.
Type. Pass done. Button. Elf race. Button.
All right, now that we've decided that we're going to be an elf wizard, let's find out more about the elves.
Natural resistance. Button.
Oh, they have another race skill called natural resistance. Let's find out what this does by double tapping.
Natural resistance. A passive skill that raises each element resist by 1 permanently. Type. Passive. Done. Button.
All right, so
Close info screen.
it looks like elves have a natural resistance to all the other elements. This could be really useful if, let's say, you're fighting some fire wizards and you don't want to get burned. Well, you have a little bit more natural resistance to fire damage, which is more likely to fizzle that attack or make it do less damage. Let's close this.
Type. Done. Button. Natural resistance. Button.
All right, now we know that we have two abilities as an elf.
Elf race. Button.
We know that we have a built-in core ability as an elf,
Natural resistance. Button.
and we have natural resistance.
Jeweler. Heading.
All right,
Is current selected profession.
now that we are done with selecting our class and our race, let's move on to our last thing to select, which is our profession. So every single class in the game gets to select a profession. It is mandatory, and let's go ahead and choose one. Now, it's up to you, but the good thing is that the game tells you if it's a skill that is available for you and that you should be using. Let's go ahead and take a look at jewel crafting, which is really, really fun. All right.
Previous profession. Button.
Of course, we can also look through the other professions, but let's see what it says about jewel crafting.
Next profession. The forging of metal jewelry such as rings, bracelets, necklaces, shields and crowns. This profession is suited for all classes.
All right, you heard that information? This is suited for all classes. So it's a sure bet that if you choose a profession that is suited for all classes, you're not going to hit any walls. For instance, if you're somebody who doesn't wear really heavy armor, it's really not going to benefit you to build that stuff or craft that stuff. So that's why this is really important to know. Now that we know that this profession is appropriate for us, let's keep looking at more options.
Profession skills.
But first, let's see what jewel crafting offers us as a profession skill.
Nimble wisdom. Button.
Ooh, we get another ability. This is how we get into the customizable part of creating a character. We can kind of control the race. Well, we can control the race. We can control exactly what we're getting like that, but we can also choose a profession that's going to help us customize this character. So now that we know that, let's check this out.
Nimble wisdom.
Let's
Button.
check out what nimble wisdom does. Yes, we're going to
Nimble
talk
wisdom.
about that. So nimble wisdom. Let's swipe from left to right.
A passive skill that grants 1 agility and 1 wisdom every 7 levels.
Wow. So every 7 levels, we're going to get 2 bonuses. Isn't that awesome? So let's say you're a Minimaxer and you're looking for just the right thing to make your character number 1 in the leaderboards. Well, one of the things you're going to want to do is look for the correct profession that's going to boost just the right stats. And if you're starting off, just have some fun and play with different professions and find out which one you like the best. Let's go ahead and close this.
Type. Done. Button. Nimble wisdom. Button. Skilled forge. Button.
All right. Every character has access to a skill forge. Skill forges are hidden throughout the world. And as you find these skill forges, you'll be able to enter them and create customized equipment. Well, let's find out what a jewel crafter can do.
Enter character name. Head. Skilled forge. Button.
Let's double tap that.
Skilled forge.
Okay, skill forge.
A passive skill that grants an extra bonus stat when forging items of your profession.
Whoa.
Also grants a 50% chance of forging an upgraded tiered item.
Wow. Jewel crafters get an extra stat added to the equipment they make. Let's say we wanted to make something that had a lot of intelligence. Well, because we're a jewel crafter, we get to create something with an extra stat, whatever we want. It could be anything. It could be critical strike. It could even be agility. It could be endurance. It could even be just more intelligence. We could stack whatever we want. That's the beauty of being able to customize your characters. You can build what you want to build in your class. All right.
Type. Passive.
You might have heard this go through voiceover. Passive. Passive means it's always active, so you don't have to activate it.
Done. Button.
Let's go ahead and close that
info
screen.
Skilled forge. Button.
All right. Now that we've got to hear everything about our character, there's one more final process in the character creation.
Enter character name. Heading.
We
Text
get to
field.
enter our own custom name. Let's double tap, and my keyboard's going to come up for my iOS Pro 16.
Enter character name. Heading. Text field. Is editing. Word mode. Insertion point at start.
And of course, you'll be
Use the rotor
inserted
to
at
access
start,
misspelled words.
and you can do all your rotor functions to fix any problems. I'm going to call this character
Cap R. Cap R. T. Y. U. U. Space. B. N. N. E. E. Space. Space. Rune.
Runduck.
Cap D. Cap D. Do. T. Y. U. U. C. C. G. H. J, K, K, space.
All right, now we've called it Rune Duck. No, it's not Donald. It's just another Rune Duck. Rune Duck, that's not what we're going to do right now. Okay, so now that we've created a name that we find appropriate, that we like, let's go ahead and swipe to our right.
Done.
And there's a done button. Let's close it. This will save it.
Done.
But you can go
Wizards
back
are
and
masters
change
of raw
it.
magic, bending the element.
So you can go back and save it. All right, let's review our whole character creation. I'm going to go back to the top by four-finger tapping the top.
Wizard, button, heading.
Now we hear
Current
Wizard.
selected class,
That is our
Wizard.
current selected class.
Knight, button. Rogue, Shadow Cleric, Illusionist, Monk, Ancient Art, Assassin, Witch, Paladin, Druid, Dim, Wizard, heading.
Now we
Is
have the
current
Wizard.
selected class.
Wizard currently selected class.
Wizards are masters of raw magic,
We hear
bending the elements to
description.
class starting skills.
We hear the class starting skills.
Arcane Bolt, button. Arcane Intellect, skill tree, button.
We can also look at our skill tree.
Elf, heading.
We know what our
Is current
race
selected
is.
race.
Elf is our currently selected race, and you're going to want to go ahead and confirm all these things before you create the character.
Previous race, button. Next race, button. Tall, noble, and intelligent. Elves are masters of the wilderness and the mind.
There's a description of your race.
Race skills.
There's your race skills.
Elf race, but natural resistance. Jeweler, heading.
There is our
Is current selected
profession.
profession.
That's a currently selected profession.
Previous profession, button. Next profession, button.
Obviously, if we wanted to change that, we could move back and forth between all the professions.
The forging of metal jewelry such as rings, bracelets, necklaces, shields and crowns.
That's
This
the
profession is suited
description.
for all classes.
That is the description of our profession.
Profession skills.
There's our profession skills.
Nimble wisdom, button.
Nimble wisdom.
Skilled forge, button.
And we know that we have some special things we get from the skill forge. Let's go ahead and confirm this character and create it.
Rune Doc, create character, button,
And
heading.
there's a name.
Rune Doc, heading,
Name of our
text field.
character is Rune Duck. We
Enter
can-
character name, double tap to edit.
And you could make your character whatever you want to name it, obviously appropriately. Let's go ahead and create the character.
Create character, button, heading. Create character, heading. Armor Banker 1, class Knight. Race human. Level 1.
Now, once you create that character, you are put back in the character creation
Character
scene.
list, heading.
This is your character list. All your characters go here. All right? Now, let's go ahead and find Rune Duck.
Back to menu. Create character. Armor Banker. Elcid. Potion Banker. Rune Doc. Class
There's
Wizard.
Rune Duck.
Race Elf. Level 1.
Once you're
Actions
ready
available.
to play and you have found your character, you can double tap on this and you'll start playing the character. Now, what if we didn't like what we did? Well, we could swipe up on the character
Delete.
and we could double tap delete and it will immediately delete that character. No, Rune Duck, we're not going to delete it because we're going to be using it for the next tutorial video. I'm sure that you're a very unique class. I don't know if people want to play a Rune Duck. I don't think that's on most people's minds, but I will definitely mention it to the developer. All right, so once you have that, you go ahead and double tap.
Activate. Default. Potion Banker 1. Rune Doc. Class Wizard. Race Elf.
Let's
Level
go
1.
ahead and double tap.
Swipe up. Selected. Game alert. Getting started with voiceover.
And you are immediately brought to the first tutorial, which talks about getting started with voiceover. So that's going to go ahead and end our second video. It was a long one, but we needed to talk about how to create characters and all the different processes. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you come to my series, Core Quest, how to play Core Quest throughout the entire tutorial series. We're going to have a lot of fun, lots of different characters, and I'm going to explain to you how to do absolutely everything. But until next time, folks, take care.